on. Um, so the mental focus and preparation goes into each day, each time they fly. Actually, there's a what we call the bubble of getting ready for that. We arrive 45 minutes before they're even going to talk about the brief and fly, and we get in and we kind of have a conversation, and then 10 minutes prior, everyone's in the room. 5 minutes prior, everyone's in their seats, and a minute prior, everyone's quiet, and it's your time to get ready, and then we brief, and it's showtime from there. And then we leave the room, and everyone goes and fulfills their responsibility. As you see the diamond coming in for the tuck under brake maneuver. And now, as you've seen that, you see the solos coming across the sky. They'll be coming into the screen shortly as they join up for the Delta portion of the demonstration, where all 6 planes will come together and they will do maneuvers as they complete the show.
Everybody out here is thrilled to pieces, but I feel sorry for every dog that lives along Lake Washington here. The roar of the planes takes some getting used to for the furry critters.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
And here they are coming back into Delta.
So as the last number 6 gets there, he will say, "Boss, you've got 6," letting him know that everyone's there, and now he can start to lead them as the Delta. So before that, he knows that he has his 4 diamond, and now as 5 and 6 are in place, now, "Boss, you got 6." He continues to lead them to get set up for their first Delta maneuver, the Delta roll.
We're getting different shots here of all of the fans. These are generations of folks who come out here year after year after year. And the folks up in the air, your pilots, they can see these people. They can hear them sometimes if they're yelling, right? They can feed a little bit off the crowd.
Definitely, if it's a nice crowd and they've got numerous boats out in the water, and there's just lots of energy, they can feel that. And it's also, too, we can feed that energy to them by giving them the hits and the scores. When they have a center point nice, and Lieutenant Commander Declan Hartney, he's the maintenance officer, and he's giving them a grade, and he's like, "Center point nice!" Like, they get fired up, and that's just the energy of the environment helps us to keep them, and because they know, if we have one bad maneuver, as you see them coming in for the roll, if something doesn't go exactly right, and that's still, this is, like we said, the strive for perfection, it's in their mind somewhat. The crowd probably still loved it, and so it's not, "Oh man, I wasn't happy with that." It's, let's get energy and let's get pumped up and let's go and crush the next maneuver. And that's one of the support officer roles of us, passing that, giving that energy in the crowd so they can continue to, keep pushing. And they always ask, too, how the crowd like a certain maneuver, because, when they do the low brake cross, sometimes the crowd goes crazy, or when the sneak passes, the crowd goes crazy. So they definitely like that feedback, and when we debrief and watch the video, we enjoy discussing that.
And I imagine this is an athletic and taxing thing that they're doing as they're flying. I imagine they need a little bit of a boost as it goes on, so that they have some energy to really get through all of it.
Yeah, a cooler day, they're in the pilot, they're sweating. I mean, they're in the cockpit, they're sweating, they're working hard. A cooler day gives them a little bit. I mean, when it's a really hot day, it wears on them, and they're, they get through it because they're in shape and they work hard, and they're, professional Navy and Marine aviators. But, it's taxing on them, and you'll see when out there, they're just, whew, that was a worker. They'll say that was a worker because the wind was blowing and it was hot. But as you see them set in for the fleur-de-lis, we call this the aerial salute to our forward deployed forces. So they will actually separate here. The diamond will continue up, and they will reform, and then the solos will do a roll, and then they will actually depart and then rendezvous back with the Delta to finish the last maneuvers. There they go, the break. Boss gives them the ready roll. The diamond goes to rendezvous. Now the solos are going to break behind the crowd. They will follow that path, and then they will come back and rejoin the Delta. Oh, that's a cool shot.
That was great. back around.
So now when we were talking earlier, we're about to see one of the maneuvers I said is, I think, in my opinion, one of the toughest maneuvers because there's so many moving parts. They're going to, the solos are getting, heading on, they're going to rendezvous, and they're going to get set up for the Delta loop break cross.
And during this entire time, folks on the ground are communicating with them?
Yes. Yes, and there's internal communications between the pilots as they fly, as well as part of that internal communication is the communications boat, which we would call today normally our comm cart, but they're on a boat today, so not really a cart. But they're passing information after every maneuver. They pass winds, they pass anything. Say there was a life flight, they would pass that to them, and there's specific times where that information is passed. So it is a scripted narrative of things that need to be discussed and passed, and sometimes there is an emergent situation that breaks into that, and that's when they realize if there's something being passed non-scripted, it's something that's very important. But from that, there's also a person at the communication cart grading, or the communication boat grading, someone talking to the tower, and then someone also communicating here with Airboss. Because during this time, while we have the temporary flight restriction, the TFR as we call it, the pilots have a notification that they should contact a certain frequency, and that frequency is with the Airboss. So if there's something non-standard, like they need to come through the airspace, they will let him know, and he will pass, and then we will deconflict.
So the solos have rejoined them.
And they are coming in. They're going to be climbing at this. For the loop break cross, Boss is going to take them up. They're going to climb, and then he will loop them and have them break out at center point or as close to center point. And that's his goal, is to call ready break and it be at center point, and then they will depart 3 on each side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they will depart to the opposite sides, crowd left, crowd right, and then they will rejoin to try to meet at center point in a stack. And that's why this, so many moving parts, and the combined speeds coming back is 1,000 miles an hour combined of all these aircraft, and then trying to have them line up perfectly. So he's calling ready break, and now they are departing. And you see, as they finished it, they called smoke off. And Boss usually calls smoke off. So if they all turn their smoke off, that was a call from him. And now, as they go out, when they start to climb, he will call smoke on. And then that's how they follow each other's smoke trails. So the smoke, this is again another crossing maneuver where having the smoke isn't nice for the crowd to know where they are, but it also is something that the jets, they reference for each other to know their position. So they've gone smoke on, and now they're climbing. And so now they accelerate as they climb, and then they will do a half Cubanate reversal, and they return back to the flight line and then can get their level. So they will each have a different level as they come to do the cross.
What is their maximum climb rate?
The maximum climb rate?
How quickly do they get up there? Fast. We'll just settle on that.
Yeah, it is fast. Don't want to give you incorrect, but it is fast. I believe it's 30,000 feet per minute is what I believe can happen.
Oh.
And as they come in, they have their smoke on, and they cross, and that looks like a good, see that?
Wow.
The nice stack everyone's hitting at center point. And like I said, that that's one of the maneuvers that we always discuss, and it's a challenging maneuver to have 6 aircraft coming at that rate of speed to meet at an exact point in all match.
We heard some folks clapping around here too. They appreciated that.
So now you see that they're starting to rejoin again. So as you see 1, 2, and 3 there, 4 will come in, and then 5 and 6. And then you will have, Boss, you have 6 as they set up for the Delta breakout, which is another fan favorite as you see the the nice picture of the smoke that
Yeah.
looks like almost like a little flower explosion right in front of the crowd.
Well, when they rejoined, it almost looks like they hook right on, and then they are there and steady.
And that is that's their training and their trust, because they come in at different angles, different speeds, and then it's like they're set. And now, boss, you got 6. We're ready for the next maneuver. And he continues to lead them and give them the information so they can all be on the same page as what we call right now, they are rolling out for the next maneuver. So they're still banked, and when they settle, that's the rollout, and now they're going to proceed to do the next maneuver.
Here they come.
And they go smoke on, and then he will call ready break. Everyone will break away except for 4. We'll continue right above our heads. There goes 4. Another beautiful day out here.
Yeah, it is. That is spectacular.
So now this is actually an additional maneuver because we have a remote show. Normally at this time, after the Delta breakout, they would come in and do the pub, which is the pitch up break. They would pitch the jet up and they would loop around to land. But since they're landing at Boeing Field, they will give a one last pass, and we call it the Delta flat pass, where they'll have smoke on, and the narrator, Captain Jeff Cuss, who will be in the demonstration next year, he will say again your 2015 Blue Angels, and then they will depart and go back to Boeing Field, where the show will continue, because they will pub there. So we'll probably see it for the viewers, but they'll pub there and then they'll land, and then the crew chiefs will come out and bring them in, and that'll be the actual full completion of the show, is them getting out of the jets, walking down, and then they do a final salute, and that ends the ground portion of the show, which at the lake you won't be able to see, but at Boeing Field there definitely is a crowd there that's enjoying that portion as well.
We have seen that in the past. It is quite impressive, the pageantry of it, if you will. And then they do a kind of a debrief afterwards, and they look over how the show went.
That is correct. Immediately after, they will have, we call it the water wagon. They bring the guys some water. They talk really quickly. They talk about anything that wasn't right with the jet, and then if there is issues, the maintenance guys start working immediately. They check the intakes, the engines as they come by for the Delta flat pass as they depart and head to Boeing Field for a pitch up break and then a land. But the maintainers, what they like to hear is NNG, no new gripes, which means there's no new issues with the jet. That's a good thing. But if there is an issue, they begin to work on it immediately. They also begin to set up fuel, get the jets parked and ready. So when we're ready to go tomorrow, then the jets are good to go. They turn them around and get them ready to launch for tomorrow.
Now they're basically getting ready for their encore here, huh?
So now Boeing Field should be seeing them shortly.
I think that was actually a wrap. Lieutenant Greg Bollinger, thank you so much for giving us such valuable insight into what all these folks out here and all of these folks get ready to see more hydro racing. But boy, what a show. What a show you have put on. And again, we really do appreciate it. But boy, I see some folks out there that need to put some sunscreen on. I think we're seeing quite a few red bodies. And let's get to a little bit of Seafair trivia here. Let's see. Let's test your knowledge here, as we remind everybody that they can catch us live streaming on KIROTV.com. We'd also like to hear from them via Twitter as they take a look at our Seafair trivia question, which we'll have popping up here in just a moment. So get ready to give an answer to how Seafair got started up. What sparked the idea for the Seafair Festival? Was it the Miss Seafair pageant? Was it the cleanup efforts on Lake Washington, the 100th anniversary of Seattle's founding, or a voter-approved summer festival levy. You got a guess for us, Lieutenant?
Oh, goodness. I would say C, possibly. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, it's all right. You stick around. We'll all find out in a little bit. And when we get back from this commercial, we're going to see more F1 racing.
Jesse Jones, on your side as you ran into serious problems with the Good to Go system. From pushing the state to close privacy gaps,
You were vulnerable until now.
to making sure you're not stuck with tolling fees that are not your fault.
Jesse Jones broke the story.
Good to Go is wiping the slate clean.
Jesse Jones has got your back.
We're going to take a look at each and every one of these cases to make sure that WSDOT does exactly what it says it's going to do.
Watch Jesse Jones on his new home, KIRO 7 Eyewitness News.
Call the plumber.
Oh, stop freaking. I'll call Beacon.
Beacons is the company you can rely on. Once you call them, you'll never, ever call anyone else.
Next time you have a plumbing problem, don't start freaking. Call Beacon Plumbing.
Let's go. Low, Serena. Fight, fight. Stay low. Come on, fight. You gotta stay low. Come on, Serena, fight, fight.
It took Serena Williams years to master the two-handed backhand.
Let's go.
But only one shot